All right, we're live. We're live, folks. Everything that you've been waiting for. We're here at Alvin's and Friends for the book product launch of Cheryl Hatwood. So excited. As people start to come in, we're going to start. But again, as you see, the audience and the room is starting to fill up. So many beautiful people are coming in. It's just a wonderful, wonderful time. And I can't wait. I'm going to be your MC again. My name is Omar Small of brothersmalls.com. And again, we're gonna have a great time tonight. This is the book launch. This is the product launch for Miss Cheryl Hatwood. Look at it. Wonderful. Yes. How are you? Good to see you. Hi, how are you? Yeah. Yep. We're going live and we are live. And actually in a couple of minutes we'll start the program. But we want to wait until this room fills up. Want to make sure that everybody gets to experience the book launch. There's going to be some really exciting things. You know, if you went to a Cheryl Hatwood event, that it's an experience. So you know she has some prizes. She has some great questions. She always likes to give things out. You know, some really good content. She always trying to empower folks, and we're gonna have all of that. Yep, yes. So glad that we can get together now. You know, through this time. I mean, that last year about this time we wouldn't have been able to fill up this room the way we're going to fill it up now, and really have a good time. It's the book launch. It's the book product launch for Cheryl Hatwood, The Restored Soul and Truth. It's an amazing accomplishment. It really is. I mean, during this time for her to really focus to get a book out. If you haven't received the book, you haven't got the book, there's going to be an opportunity for you to get the book. You know, it's an amazing read. It really, really is. The range of emotions. All right. And if you haven't gotten Truth, also you need it as well. Yes, I'm here with Charmaine, and we're live at the book product launch for Cheryl Hatwood. And I had a quick question for you. Did you see the play, The Wounded Soul? What did you think?
It was awesome. It was, I think I actually saw it twice. It was, well, I kind of knew before it was her life story. There were parts in it where I did cry. But I like the fact that in the end she overcame.
No, you're right. You're right. I had that same reaction. When I saw the play, it was such a range of emotion. So I guess you said something about after she was victorious. So I mean, did you tell anybody about the play? Did you talk about the play?
I actually did tell somebody. I recommended one of my aunts to go and watch the play. And what I didn't know was that she had been in an abusive relationship before. And she saw the play. She's still talking about the play. She's still asking me up to this day, when is that lady going to have another play? Because she wants to bring others to the play. But because of the story, I got to learn what she went through. And she related so much more than I, because I had never been in a situation like that. I mean, I've seen stories and, looking on the outside in, you always say, as a woman, how could a woman allow that to happen? But you never really know what you would do until you're in that place. And so I've learned from the play not to judge, because I don't know what I would do. Because sometimes I guess you're governed by love, and
no, you're governed by love, and one of the things that is so powerful about the play that it unlocks, that for so many other people. So people going, say it's okay to talk about what happened to them, right?
Right. And because I introduced my aunt to the play, I asked her to go and watch. I didn't even tell her what the storyline was. She went and she watched because she wanted something to do. And it allowed her, for the first time, to open up to me as close as we are, I should say, because we grew up together so close. And to think that she didn't feel that she could have told me something like that. But being able to watch it was able to open her up. And I think it made such a difference. And because of it, she now is more open to talk about her struggles with others.
Well, that's wonderful, Charmaine. Thank you so much. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Hi, how are you? How you doing? Did you read the book?
Didn't read anything, nothing. Just she was invited, so we're just here because she knows Cheryl.
All right, sure. Hi, we're live actually. If you could just turn, look at this beautiful couple here. Look at them. They beautiful couple. I mean, all right, yeah. See, everybody says right, beautiful couple. See what I did? Yeah, exactly. Right. No, but so we're here for the book launch. Thank you for coming. You're gonna learn a lot about the products. You're gonna learn a lot about the books. I'm hoping you get them because it's just an amazing story. And so how do you know Cheryl?
I met Cheryl through a friend of a friend, and we've gotten closer. Very friendly and closer. And I've
let me have your names.
My name is Affy.
And my name is Carl.
Affy and Carl. Yes.
And I have seen some of her plays, and she invited me to the book launching. So I'm excited.
Well, we're so glad that you're here. You're gonna have a wonderful time. You guys look radiant. All right, so definitely make sure that they take a couple photos of you guys. Wonderful. Thank you so much for coming through. Yes, you got it.
So sit anywhere.
Okay, we're gonna get started in a couple of minutes. We'll get started in a couple of minutes. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you too.
Wherever, whatever. It was good.
No, I'm saying that I just created another table, so they're gonna bring up that one. That's fine. Yes, and back there, the table back there is private.
Thanks for coming. No, I need someone. Okay.
Nice. All right.
So I think we can.
Yeah, we can.
And you want to remind people the grand prize, the picture,
Yes.
and they could check it at the door.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. We're going to start the event. I'm so glad everyone is here. I see so many beautiful faces. My name is Omar Small from brothersmalls.com. I was the village administrator in Pelham for 2.5 years and the deputy city manager for the city of New Rochelle for 15 years. But now I'm here as you all to celebrate this lovely lady, Cheryl Hatwood. Let's give it up for Cheryl. All right, so a Cheryl Hatwood event. There's going to be fun. There's going to be, she's going to challenge you. It's going to be interactive. So just keep that in mind. It's going to be interactive. But let's start with the introduction. Let's start with an introduction, okay? Cheryl Hatwood is the owner and founder of Endless Voice Productions, LLC. EVP LLC delivers innovative creative playwrights as well as inspiring events. The debut of her 2017 off-Broadway play, The Wounded Soul, led her to create the annual A Woman's Worth Awards. Her story has garnered interest from various media outlets, notable Aspire TV, Rolling Out, and Unapologetically Us, among others, and live TV appearances on Arise Entertainment 30 and TV One, Madame Noir. She was the recipient of the 2019 Women Empowerment Institute Trailblazer Award as an accomplished leader in the community and received a proclamation from Westchester County for the exceptional example she has made with her unique personal achievements. She recently became the first African American to serve as president of the historic Manor Club in Pelham Manor, New York. Awesome achievement. She now has another title, author of The Restored Soul and developer of the new aromatherapy line, Truce. Now, who has Truce? Raise your hand. Oh my goodness. Oh, you guys got to get Truce. I mean, because you know about the aromas and how aromas help, right? In so many different ways, right? Right. So you guys got to get Truce. All right. Who has the book Restored Soul? Okay, we're doing a little better. We're doing a little better, but okay, you're gonna have an opportunity at the end to get the book and have her sign it. But without further ado, let's introduce the lady of the hour, Miss Cheryl Hatwood.
Thank you, Omar. I think I'm going to come out from under here just to engage with the crowd a little bit more. Thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to celebrate me, what you think. That's so you think, but I'm actually here to celebrate you. I just want to thank you for your continued support. Without you, there would be no moment like this. So I just want to say thank you guys for joining us, joining me and the rest of the supported the EVP family. Thank you to Brother Smalls for hosting. And I always give thanks to my God because of what he spared me from and brought me through, created this moment like this. Thank you to my husband, who's always, Derek. He's at every function. He gives me what I need and sometimes tells me what I need to do. So I appreciate him. Thank you for my fellow board members here from the Manor Club that have come and, various other people. So if I omitted anybody, it's not intentionally. I'm grateful for everyone, but I just want to give some notables. Kim Hampton, thank you for attending, coming all the way from Brooklyn. Yeah. She's a former WNBA player. So I'm glad that she took the time to join us here today. Just had to plug that in. We're here because of the book. Many of you know that it was released in COVID times, but I'm zoomed out. And how many of you are zoomed out? So I was waiting for a personal opportunity where the restrictions lifted a little bit and to be able to invite you guys personally, because I love people, I love to socialize, and I don't like looking at a TV screen all the time. I welcome to the guests that have joined us online. I appreciate you for, if you weren't able to attend, for joining us online. So thank you for that again. So we're here because of the book, The Restored Soul, and it was one of the most courageous journeys that I've taken, because I used to walk around afraid. Some of you guys know me, and I can appear very tough, but it's a facade that I put on in order to hide exactly what was going on. And it wasn't until I revealed my story in The Wounded Soul, the off-Broadway play in 2017, that many layers of me started to disintegrate, because I didn't have really healthy conversations with myself throughout these years. I blame myself for a lot, and I never really addressed anything. So the more I wrote, the pain doesn't speak back. And so it empowered me to speak more, and then I realized that abuse thrives when you silence it. And this is the purpose for the book, because it becomes another arm of to reach other people for domestic violence. I want to thank my parents too. They're probably watching online in Canada. I miss them. They usually travel to support me on my ventures, and they're not able to attend because of the travel restrictions. So I love you, Mom and Dad. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for allowing me to speak my truth. If most of you know Caribbean people, they're very secretive. So I didn't even know the kind of reaction I was going to get, and they still supported me. So I appreciate you for loving me through it and standing by the truth and not looking at me any different. And I think that's it. So with the book, it evolved into, the more I wrote, the more I wrote about abuse, I knew I had to do something more. And then I created the Women's Worth Awards, and I didn't know what else to do. So I decided to put the story into the Restored Soul, because I wanted you to all be a part of the journey that I'm going through, and I want to be a voice for domestic violence. I don't claim to be an expert in domestic violence, but I'm just speaking my truth, my experiences, because that's the only thing I can really speak on. And I just want to keep garnering awareness for domestic violence, so it doesn't get silenced, because it's not just October. It happens 12 months a year, 365 days, every second, every hour. And I think basically in this crowd, maybe somebody knows somebody who has gone through domestic violence. So this is another platform, another reach for me to reach another audience. So please share so that the story continues. This book gave way to my truce line. And the truce line is because I decided to call a truce with myself and just be intentional about what and who I put in my space. And the truce stands for, T is for truth, because once I stood in my truth, I was able to call a truce with myself. The R is relevant, because I realized that I am relevant, and unique, with the U stands for, because each of us has a different role to play in society, and I really think I'm fulfilling my purpose. C is for choice. C is for choice. Choose yourself all the time, and I don't mean that selfishly. I mean to, take care of yourself first. Self-development and self-growth are so important to me. So when someone says to me, "Oh, you're healed now," I don't consider it healed, because that's a full stop. I'm healing every day. So it's just continual looking at myself and developing. And the E, what is the E for? Elevate. Elevate your mind and change your negative thoughts. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Restored Soul, which led me to truth, being intentional with my space. And that's all I'm going to say. Today we're going to run some games just to see who knows what about what. All right, so thanks for joining. We're going to have some fun.
But first we got some champagne, right?
Oh, yes. Let's do a toast. Does everybody have their champagne? Oh, please go grab a glass.
I'll grab one. Thank you.
Yes. I didn't know which one to do first. So here's a toast to everyone who has joined me. Thank you to everyone who has supported me and has gone through the journey with me, and please continue to support. Thank you to, I'm just grateful for everything. So this is a cheers to us and to moi. Cheers.
Cheers, cheers. Oh, that tastes good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now it's my time. We're going to ask a couple of questions. And I told you before, an event with Cheryl Hatwood is going to be interactive, right? You already know it's going to be interactive, and you know there's going to be some fun prizes. All right. So we have prizes somewhere. Oh, okay. There's some prizes over there, right? Those are the prizes over there. Okay, great. I'm going to ask some questions. One, I'm going to ask some questions to Cheryl, and then we're going to get some questions from the online audience as well. Also, allow them to chime in. The first question I want to ask you, Cheryl, what have you learned throughout the experience of writing this book?
I learned that it's okay not to be perfect. I'm going to tell you a little story. When the book was released, I noticed a grammatical error in the book, and then I noticed a few little things. So I phoned my friend Maureen. I said, "Did this happen to you?" And she's like, "Don't let those little things spoil your moment, because it happens." It's my first book, so I wouldn't get caught up in the weeds. It was my first book. I know what to do next time and not to do. But that's what I learned. Embrace the imperfections, and I'm running away.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Embrace the imperfections, and it is life.
Okay, awesome. Okay, I have a question for the audience here. Where are the 2 platforms where you can purchase the book?
Hands up only.
Right here, the leopard screen, leopard dress. Awesome. Get her the first prize. Come on, hands clapping. Come on, hands clapping. You got it? All right. Actually, I won one of my best prizes at the Women's Worth Awards. I mean, I felt so good. I got a lot of good stuff. It was amazing.
Are you talking about that?
Yeah,
autograph?
I know. I got the football and everything. It's gonna pay dividends a couple years. All right. Second question. What year did The Wounded Soul debut, and at what theater? What year did The Wounded Soul debut,
Come on,
and at
you
what
guys.
theater? Gentleman in the hat in the back there. Yes. Give that man a prize.
The Emily. Yeah.
We're going to ask some questions as we get them from the online audience. But I wanted to ask you, Cheryl, how important is self-talk? I mean, how important is self-talk? Can you talk about that?
Self-talk is so important, because what you say, you become. And I believe in the power of words. As I was talking earlier, I was saying that, my negative talk was hurting my mental strength. So I had to learn how to remain positive. I do have days, I'm human, that I can get down on myself, but I have my husband, he'll, drag me up like, come on, babes. Ain't that bad? In his deep voice. The negative self-talk, I try and keep things positive. I do media fasts a lot, because social media and the news can weigh on my psyche, and I just have to remove myself.
When did the self-talk shift? Do you remember when it shifted for you?
I think my self-talk progressed over time, and it was when I realized, like, I grew up in a very spiritual family, grew up with God, but I knew God from who my parents told me he was, and I didn't develop a relationship with him myself. So once I understand who I am in Christ, I stand stronger, and I know who I am. I know who my creator is, and I know that because he made me, he's in me. I got a lot of power in that.
That's right. I also want to take questions from the audience again.
Hi. Congratulations.
Thank you, yourself.
So I know it's so evident that your faith is so important to you. But one of the questions I had is that how did you deal with forgiving your abuser?
She asked, she knows that I'm connected spiritually in my faith, and she asked how I deal with forgiving my abuser, which is a really good question. for years I didn't, because it felt better to hold him as a hostage over my life. But when my mind shifted, I realized that I'm not going to give anybody the keys to my mind, my space. And the more I hung on to how he treated me or what I went through, it was the worst for me. It wasn't, he's like nowhere to be found. But it was worse for me. So for my healing purposes, I had to forgive him. Am I going to run up and hug him when I see him? Never. I might have another action, but no, I won't say that. But no, I have forgiven him because forgiveness helps me. And it unlocks, it doesn't give anybody, I remain a victim if I didn't. So I'm a survivor, and that's from the position that I speak.
Thank you. We have a question from the online audience. And the question is, do you have any regrets associated with writing this book?
I do not have any regrets about writing the book. I regret not writing it sooner, because it was freeing and it allowed me to embrace, get to know who I was instead of living the facade behind people and things.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Who wants to win another? Okay, now we have another question.
I saw the play. It was fabulous. And I've been following you. But will there be a sequel, a play, or another book?
Thank you. She's asking if there's going to be a sequel to The Wounded Soul and or The Restored Soul. Which one? The Restored, The Wounded. Okay. Well, yes, I'm the sequel. My life continues. I'm the sequel. I don't think I have to write a story detailing part 2 of my life. I left part 1 hanging because I didn't want to. It's a happy ending. I'm not finished writing my story yet, so I don't even know where I would put a stop to it. So I'm the sequel right now. So follow me on Facebook and Instagram, and you'll see my story. That's the sequel.
All right, who wants to win another prize? All right. No. This is the Cheryl Hatwood event.
Yeah, you can win.
So you can win multiple prizes.
Yeah, what?
Yes. Okay. What was the year and place of the last theater performance of The Wounded Soul? The year and the place for the last performance of The Wounded Soul. Does anybody know? Anyone? Okay.
It was 3 years ago, and it was at
No.
That's not it?
No.
No.
Good try. Hi,
Wait.
Gail.
I think Charmaine has it.
Was it at the Beacon?
No.
It wasn't at the Beacon?
Sorry.
It was in Pelham.
No.
Oh, dang.
Okay. All right. I guess that's gonna be my prize, huh?
Who knows it? Okay.
All right. Wait. All right.
Okay. Who knows? No.
right.
Close is
Wait,
not.
hold on.
Close is not good enough. The last play for The Wounded Soul. Where was the year? The year and the place.
The year and the place for what? Sorry.
The Wounded Soul. The play.
I know it.
I know. Well, you got to speak it, baby girl.
In the back. In the back.
No, I'm so sorry. That was
All
the
right.
first year.
Sure, you gonna let them know?
No.
Okay.
No. Richard.
All right. The gentleman in the hat. right
Last try, and then we're gonna give the answer. Yes.
2018 at the Playwright Theater.
No. The Playwright Theater, you said? You have the right year, but you have the wrong theater. So it was 2018 at the American Theater of Actors in Manhattan. What did you say?
Can you give him? Yeah, give it for a try. He was the closest, right? No.
Yeah.
He was the closest, right?
Next
Okay.
question. I'll think about.
All right, here's a question for Cheryl. Writing a book about your life story can create sensitivities and even conflict about what is in the book. Have you experienced any conflict from family or friends? And if so, how did you handle it?
So I wrote. Okay, so there was some. I guess misunderstanding. I didn't write from a position of. I couldn't write from a position of fear because then I would be careful about what I'm putting out and it wouldn't be my story. And then I decided that I want to write my story. I didn't want to speak on behalf of anybody else and what they experienced. So I wrote my story from my point of view. I didn't include my brothers and sisters because I don't know what they went through or how they viewed me at the time. But that wasn't the point of view I was trying to get across. So I think I've tried to relate and explain why I've made the choices that I've made. And that's all I can do because I'm standing in my truth. I'm standing in my experiences and I'm here to impact lives. I can't be careful. I can't manage emotions at the same time while managing my truth.
I actually, no, that's great. That's great. I asked you this question before, but I wanted to know if family members asked you this question. Why? Like,
They asked me.
yeah, did they ask you why?
I don't think they asked me why. I think my mother felt convicted in a way that she somehow could have done something different or better. And I don't hold them to any standard because they didn't know. And actually, they found out the debut of my play in 2017. And I was so nervous because I wasn't even watching the play. I was watching my dad to see his reaction. And he's very stoic. So I wasn't sure what he was thinking. And he said to me, we did the best that we could, and maybe we could have done better. And that was it for me. It was just like oceans of water, because that's his way of saying, I support you and I stand with you by everything. So no one has really asked me the why. I think they understood based on my storytelling that it served a purpose for myself.
Thank you for that. Thank you. This question is for the online audience, and whenever someone puts a response in the chat, just let me know. But this is for the online audience, and the question is: name an upcoming project Cheryl is working on. So again, first person with the answer in the chat, let me know, and we can get them a prize. Again, name an upcoming project Cheryl is working on. All right. This is for the online audience. online. But this next question, I think you guys should be able to get. What is the Truce is the aromatherapy? Look, I mean, again, you guys got to get Truce. It's amazing. It's really fragrant, and it's a nice mood, putting you in the mood. Hey, for whatever you want to do. I mean, that's on you. That's your house. I don't know. I don't know what you do. But yeah. So what does T stand for truth in Truce? What does T stand for? Truth. Yep, we got a winner right here. Charmaine, Miss Charmaine.
Okay. If anybody yells it out, you're disqualified, because it's hard to see who's calling it out first, right? So hands up, like school. Let's go back to school. Put your hands up, just to keep it to fair.
All
fairness.
right, let's go back to school now. Can anyone get the 5 letters? What Truce stands for? And again, we got to go back to school. If you have it, raise your hand.
No guessing. I mean, like if
all
you get
5
one letter
letters,
right.
what the meaning of all 5 letters in Truce.
I did say it.
The gentleman with the hat.
Truce.
Hold on.
Real.
No, just the letters.
You. Choose. and elevate.
What you said? What did you say?
He was close. He was close.
Yeah, truth, real, unique.
Oh, Richard, we have to go to somebody else. You got the R wrong.
Oh, this
Okay.
young lady.
I'm gonna take a shot at
Sure.
it. It's gonna be truth,
Yes.
truth, unique, choose, elevate, and the R is for oh.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Wah, wah. Over this table.
So it's truth, relevance, unique, choice, and elevation.
Yay!
Wow. Okay. This question is for Cheryl. Success is subjective. How would you define the success of your book and the Truth Line?
For me, success is finishing something that you start, and then the secondary result is impact. If it impacts at least one person, that's what it's for. Because I didn't do this for entertainment. You might find it fascinating. I did it for education and an experience. I want you guys to experience exactly domestic violence because a lot of people pacify it and they don't give it a voice. So that's success to me is just continue starting and finishing. And I started and finished, and that's enough. That's success for me.
Mission accomplished. Mission accomplished. I mean, my wife will tell you when I finished the book, when I was reading the book, she heard me like moaning and doing, and it was so emotional. I mean, the range of emotions, you know. And I was talking to your husband the other day, and I said if I could go in between the lines, it's just a really, really impactful book. And thank you so much for doing it. It really is.
Thank you. Yeah, I just want to speak on one more thing on the book. My family is ride or die. So you hurt one, you hurt others, and so one of the stories in there was, my brother and my dad. My brother and my dad get the book.
Yeah.
Their reaction to a certain incident that happened. The book is similar to the play, but I added more information about what I went through. And so if you want to know more about me and what I experienced, the resource soul tells that. And at the same time, I didn't go into every, hi, Joe. I didn't go into every offense because I think once is enough. And I think the message of the story came through.
No, it definitely came through. And something I like to say, I like to say this: real men love women. And real men are not afraid to say that and be, it's not, I mean, I don't understand you have to choose, real men love women, and that's the bottom line.
And I have a real man and he loves me.
There he is. Yes. Yes, D.
He's so shy.
All right. More prizes. Okay. I want you guys to look. There is a image. There should be an image on your table, and for the grand prize, that image is going to be important. So I'm going to need somebody to take. If you don't have that image on your table, I need somebody to kind of take that around and just have people look at it. It's for the grand prize, and I think people should just get a chance to look at it.
So the question behind the picture is to, what are the differences in the pictures for the withered soul and the restored soul, and why the differences? Oh yeah, you can have it, but there's. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just trying.
Yeah.
So we'll do that after, but everybody, I want a chance to view the photo and view the differences and let me know why the pictures are different and what they symbolize. Because there is a message. And I just want to know who can.
Yeah, they're coming around with the image. Yeah.
I want everybody to be able to have a fair chance. So while it's being passed around, maybe we can go to the next.
Yes. Okay. The next question is, why was the play called The Wounded Soul and the book called The Restored Soul?
The Wounded Soul was written as I started to acknowledge the abuses that I went through. And it was birthed from the poem that I wrote when I was 16, in my mind, what was going, day after day, seeking my existence, trying to determine what was real and what isn't. And it goes on. But I wrote The Restored Soul because I wanted to speak from a position of healing. I don't like to stay in the story per se. I want to speak as a survivor. And so I changed it to The Restored Soul. And I should have actually said Restoring Soul because it's a daily commitment to self-development and growth.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for her, for Cheryl at the back? Okay, hold on 1 second. Effie has a question.
Hi, Cheryl.
Hi.
So my question is, what's your advice to an individual that's being abused? The number one advice.
So the question is, what's my advice to somebody that's being abused? That's a really good question because every abuse is different and it has the same outcome of it negates who you are. So I would say to find a safe person that you can speak to and strategize to find a way to get out. But be careful because 70% of the violence escalates. 70% it escalates when you're trying to leave, and the rate of death is higher when a woman decides to leave, or a man. It happens to men too. But so I would just say be strategic. Find somebody you can trust. Find some resources. I'm tied to 2 resources, Hope's Door and My Sister's Place. So I always reference people. I do what I can to help other victims, and I've had some people refer them to me, and I've tried to talk them through. They've been in shelters and sent them to a safe place. They have law services, but I would say to make an informed decision. You don't want to do anything sudden and you have no resources or help to sustain you after. It's okay to leave, but most victims come back because they didn't have a strategy. They didn't know how to live. They had no money. So some of them save money on the side. Some of them find shelters that will help them. There's a lot of resources. So strategize a plan, find a friend, and I'm here.
So you have a beautiful intro to chapter 5 in your book, and it says, "Light always finds a way, no matter how dark the night gets. It is bound to succumb to the morning. It is meant to occupy the darkness." My question to you is, can you share the significance of this beautiful intro and inject this prior to the reader? Why did you inject it to the reader prior? So the reader understand that there was abuse.
Right. So that's a good question. She's asking why did I pick the symbolism of light and darkness to introduce the chapter? And I wrote from that place because in darkness, there's no such thing as darkness because light supersedes darkness. I lived in a dark place because of the sexual abuse that I suffered. And I was trying to come to a recollection of how to live in the light when all these things had happened to me. So that's the symbolism of the light and dark. Thank you for that question.
This gentleman here has a testimony.
What's up, sis? Love you to death.
Hi, Tony.
Keep doing what you're doing. So I just want to give a testimony based on what she just said about playing it forward. What we do with Legacy for Men, for her husband's organization, we reach out to the community and help people. So one Saturday, I got an emergency text that a young lady really needed help. She was in an abusive relationship for a very long time. I reached out to Cheryl. Cheryl reached back out to me. She got her and her child out of her own pocket, clothes, places to go, and support like that. This young lady is now building her life back together from being in a very abusive relationship for years in the Bronx. She now lives in Connecticut. So what she's saying, she does, she lives by, and I love you.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Tony. We have some questions from the online viewers. Okay. I think you answered that. Because it was what advice would you give to someone who's currently experiencing abuse?
Yeah, just to find a resource outside of your home.
Got it.
And also, let me add on to that too, because of COVID, abuse, the stats, right? I'll say stats. The stats are skewed right now because some people say it's escalated, and some people have reports that it's gone down. And I think that it's gone down because they don't have the resources to go outside their home anymore, right? Because they became prisoners in their own home. So I would say for victims suffering from domestic violence in the home, to set up a warning, like hang a towel out your window or something to say that that is a signal to your neighbor that something is gone wrong in the home, and then they can alert the police. And so set up a system, a safety net that way. I also think that possibly the frontline people, like people that work in the grocery stores, banks, or wherever, they need to be educated to know what to look for when somebody comes through the line.
Sure. Cheryl, did you give signs? Like, did you, sometimes like you're just saying like, okay, put a flag or make a plan. But when you're talking to people, did you kind of lead on in the discussion, or try to kind of tell people, hey, I need help? I mean, I've seen situations where people in a restaurant and they, they make the waiter aware of something going on. Did you kind of lead?
My experience?
Yes.
Did I try and seek help?
Yes.
Well, no. Well, because domestic violence has evolved since it happened to me, and that was in 1985. Back then, the laws were not supportive of domestic violence as they are today. And the only reason I got out of my situation is because the laws changed that year, where that if the police officer came to the door, that they could arrest somebody, a victim, right? So, and because he was thrown in jail, I used that as an opportunity for me to escape and to leave.
Wow. Okay.
My parents saw the signs, yes. But it's young person, not mature in emotions. You misinterpret somebody wanting you by their side all the time, and the isolation is that he loves me so much. No, he doesn't love you. He's controlling you. So my goal is to start talking to the teens to teach them about having healthy relationships.
All right, we have another question.
Can you share with the people what do the signs, what are some of the signs of abusive men disguising themselves as good men look like?
Oh, there's not a mold, but the characteristics are basically the same. It usually starts with some kind of seduction. They make you think you're the world, and it draws you in that way, and then it becomes an isolation. And then it escalates to emotional abuse sometimes first, and then physical abuse. And every abuse usually gets worse and worse each cycle.
We have another question?
I just have a question, like as far as PTSD, after you've been through that experience, how can you move forward into like another relationship, and how can you find peace within yourself when you're in a good relationship, but like you have these flashbacks?
And that's an extremely great question. When I left my abusive relationship, I just went into a different abuse relationship. I went into a different kind. It was emotional abuse, and then I started to associate love with someone hitting me. So if a guy didn't hit me, he didn't love me. So that was sick. So I had to process a lot for myself first, and I wouldn't suggest anyone getting into a relationship until they've gone through some self-development, some kind of healing process. And for me, I was still masking a lot of my pain through other activities. I became OCD. I love perfection, and I tried to control things around me, and it allowed me to control my life. And I thought that was the way to control my emotions. And then I met Derek, and he. The abuse doesn't make me cry. It's his compassion that makes me breaks me down. So he had said, thank you. Whew.
Truce.
He had noticed some things in me that were not right. He called me out on it because anytime there was some good that came around me, I tried to prove that there was not a good man out there, and I tried to make them who I thought that they should be, because all men, I put them in one classification. And he said to me, I know you're trying to push me away, and I know that there's something that you've gone through, and I'm going to stand by here until you're ready to talk to me. And I'm thinking, that's not normal. That's not normal, because I've never had a man try and find out what I'm really feeling or what I've gone through. So when he did that, it gave me a safe place. And I told him everything about me. There's no secrets. He knows everything. So, and he was still by my side. Yeah. So I appreciate that.
It's a real man. Yep. All right. Did everybody get a chance to look at the image? Did everybody get a chance to look at the image? Yeah. Okay. This is the last question for the grand prize. And what's the grand prize?
The champagne bottle and holder.
All right.
So who wants to describe what that picture means and the symbolic meaning? Okay, Dare. Yes, you.
All right. So with the wounded soul, it can oftentimes leave you empty inside. So what I've noticed between the two is there's an emptiness with the wounded soul. So from the book and from what you spoke about today, the restored soul is simply you putting all of the pieces together.
Oh my God,
it's a continuation. It's not complete yet, but through God and Christ,
yes,
one day it will be complete.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is, because the two pictures are different. If you look at the first picture, there's a woman, it's the forest, that's an empty forest, right? And then the restored soul is putting the pieces back together in the mind. So that was great. That was really good. I didn't think anybody was going to get it that close. So that's awesome. Yeah, we have 4 more bags. Who knows my name? My other name. No calling out. That's it. Take a bag, Simone. Oh yeah, sure, yeah. No shout outs. No shout outs. Shelly. Everyone calls me Shelly. So when people are looking for me in Canada, they don't know Cheryl, because I never used Cheryl. I had to use Cheryl to get to the States. I had to use my legal name, and now my married name is Hatwood. So yes. Do we get any people online that answer that question? No? Okay, so we have some more prizes. What can I ask? Who designed this logo? No, I'm sorry. Yes, Derek has designed it. Yes. I have four more questions. Do you have any? I'm trying to make these easy. Okay. Okay. She has a question to ask that she wants to answer. Okay. Oh, yes. That's good. Oh, actually, I want to thank some of the cast members that portrayed my story, the first story. There's Richard, who played my dad. He was a... Simone played me. She played me. Yeah. That's how you know her. But yeah, and I just want to thank the cast that's watching, because even the ones that did the last one at 2018. So thank you guys for doing that. Go ahead.
Where did you write the play?
Oh, that is really good, Crystal. That's a question. Where did I write the play? Crystal doesn't. No.
Like in America or Canada, or what do you mean?
Where there's a special location.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't there. Okay, go. No, that would have been a long visit. Oh, okay, Crystal.
On a train down to Virginia.
Yes, that's awesome. So Crystal, grab a bag. That was really good that you had that answer. What else? Let me see.
I won't answer it.
Go ahead.
What was the name? What was your name in the play? The name of your character in the play.
Oh, yes. What was the name of my character? No, you can't. No. What was the name of the lead in the play? Oh, no. I'm sorry, Tiffany. Sinead. No, it wasn't Sinead.
Nicole.
Nicole, it was. Thank you. Who wrote the music for my play?
Derek.
Is that a question or a statement? Yes, he wrote the music. I wrote the lyrics. He wrote the score for it.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
How long did it take you to write The Restored Soul?
Oh, good question. It because I already had formulated a foundation and outline from The Wounded Soul, it was much easier. So I just plugged in some other things that I wanted to mention. So it probably took me about 6 months, and it took me 6 months because I'm an editing queen. So sometimes you have to know when to let go, right? And I kept editing and changing, and I sat with it. I'm just like, I can't let it go. Derek's like, just let it go. I'm like, I can't. I got to go through it one more time. It's a process. So it took about six to 7 months to go into to be published. Hi.
Hi. I didn't know you had a daughter, and you mentioned
Oh, that's a very good question. Unfortunately, my daughter, the pivotal moment in the abuse situation was when my ex held her over the balcony. So there was a time where she wouldn't, when somebody hugged me, she would just scream hysterically. And unfortunately, her relationship that she got into was abusive, and I couldn't do anything about it. And that was the hardest thing. You can't teach your kids healthy relationships if you're not living them. So that's one of the lessons that I had to take away. But I was there for her 100%. She lived in, where was she? She was Nevada. Was it somewhere where she shouldn't have been? People don't live there. But she was over there. So we, with my sister's help and myself, we arranged for her to get help from there and get transported to a shelter. And, but yeah, unfortunately, she went through the same things, and her story is similar to mine, unfortunately. But she's in a really good marriage now. Yes. And I have 4 beautiful grandkids, one on the way. Yes. Yes.
So, because of the proximity of you, yourself and your daughter, and kids, it's like kids don't listen to what we say. Kids watch what we do. How do you prevent her children, your grandchildren, from potentially getting into abusive relationships? Well, okay, they're probably okay if she's married, so she might they'll get a chance to see, but still potentially a kid could get into, because like you said, it's happening earlier and earlier, younger and younger, like teenagers are being abused and stuff. How would you prevent that with your hindsight and your knowledge? How could you, the two of you, prevent that?
Well, I think it's open conversation, and I will never say you need to leave. You never tell the person what to do. You just know that you support them through the journey and that you're there to help. And I think that all you can do is stand by them and make sure that there was something I was going to say in that regards, and it just slipped me as you were talking. What did you say again? The first part of your question.
I was just saying that your daughter kind of inherited, being abused.
Right. So yeah, that's what I wanted to hone in on. So another thing that I thought, because I never saw my parents abuse each other. So why did I go into an abusive relationship? And so this is a question that I had to ask myself. And I had to be honest with how I arrived to that situation. And I think the family that I was raised in, Caribbean family, they discipline with the belt, and they discipline with the belt. So you can have an association between love and hitting, because my parents still love me, right? So if a man hits me, it's okay because he must still love me. So that's the things that I tried, and it's no fault of theirs, because they only did what they knew. They were taught. I don't hold that against them. But what I've said, I've told that to my daughter. So she's parenting differently, and I'm sure my granddaughter will parent differently too. So I think it's teaching them that hitting is not love. There's other ways to deal with stuff. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Cheryl, the pain, I can only imagine the pain that you went through in writing these stories. You want to talk a little bit about that? I mean, I'm just wondering, was it sometimes really hard even to plug through?
It was really hard. When I wrote The Wounded Soul, it was very hard for me to write. I stopped for 3 months because everything was coming up. And it was my husband that said, you got to go through it. You got to write on it. And I'm just like, I can't, because once I started writing something else I remembered, and I didn't want to deal with it. But dealing with it is much better than squashing it, because I wasn't living really like I would, how you doing? Everything's fine. Then I would go and I hid everything behind a smile, that cherry disposition. And I do have a cherry disposition, but I used my smile was my mask, that everything was okay.
And what made you decide to finally confront it? Because I know that must have been the most difficult thing for you.
Well, I didn't, how it evolved to confront it was not how I thought it would, because I started writing because I want people to know why I write and why I write so deeply. So I started writing like a little, very on the surface. And then when it really reveals a lot of inner thoughts and what you go through. So, and I journaled all my life. And then I started writing deeper, and it became this story about all the abuses that I've never talked about. And it was cleansing, actually. And I really wish I did it sooner and addressed my pain, because I think that I've hurt a lot of people along the way just because I was masking the pain. I can't go back and change what I did, but I can be intentional of being a better person. And that's what I do.
So courageous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. This has been such an informative and powerful time. And again, we could be here all night. I wanted to earlier I talked about who has truce, and I think maybe a quarter of the room raised their hands, and then the book maybe half the room. So we're definitely going to have an opportunity for folks to get the book, get it signed by Cheryl, and also get truce as well. Again, really, I mean, I have it at home, and the book is so powerful. So I guess right now we'll have a time, right, for
Yeah, right now. So if you have your book and you want it to be signed, or you want to purchase a book, we accept all forms of payment. Just come here and get the book. I'll sign it. If you want to take a picture with me, I'll smile with you, and that's a true smile. And then you can get a truce if you want at the same time. But other than that, the night is yours. Thank you guys so much for taking part and supporting me. Thank you, Brother Smalls. Thank you to Alvin's Restaurant. Just thank you for all your support, you guys. And please share the message of domestic abuse. Yes, follow on Instagram, Facebook, share. Line up to the right, please. Yes. Yes.